This, my friends, is the PCT.
I feel on top of the world.
Oh no, it's happening again. Trouble sets in, waiting for the dividend.
Hello, I'm River, and today I wanted to talk to you about basically a bunch of gear that I ditched while I was hiking the PCT. I didn't really go with a very light pack. I probably had a base weight maybe of about 7 or 8 kilos. So that's not that light in the world of through hiking, and probably a better reflection of my base weight. Now, these days that I've got a whole through hike behind me, I'm probably sitting at about 5 kilos. So a lot of that has been swapping out some of my bigger, big 3 staple items, but also a lot of it is stuff that I just ditched along the way. While you're out there, you learn the things that you do and don't need, and really take note of the things that you are and aren't using. So I've got a list in front of me. It was a lot of items, and so I had to write it down because I don't want to miss any of it for you. I probably still have. And I wanted to kind of hold things up and show you, but everything I ditched is gone. So most of it just ended up in hiker boxes. And yeah, so I can't really show you. But I guess I'll start off with the first item was moisturizer. I started off with a few luxury items, just, you know, knowing that I'd be in the desert, and I figured, you know, I'd be alone. I probably do want a few little comfort things. So I started off with a tube of moisturizer and quite a big tube of sun cream, knowing again that I needed to be sun safe. And I'd had previous experiences where I ran out of sun cream because I only brought like a half full mini tube, which is not ideal. But yeah, so I took 2 quite big tubes of liquid basically, and they're pretty heavy when you think about it. So I lasted maybe a week with those items, and then I thought, you know what, I understand why people do what they do. Whoops, okay, I got cut off because I got a phone call. But picking up where I left off, yeah, I understand why people get rid of stuff to make their bag lighter basically, and carry really minimal amounts of the things that they need and just keep replacing it when they get into town. So moisturizer, sun cream, they taught me very, very quickly that luxury is actually just having a lighter pack. So I started to get a little bit more ruthless after that. The next thing I got rid of was actually, I brought a camp shirt or like a town shirt, and I hadn't used it in the first week or 2, so I ditched it once I was in Big Bear, where I did a bit of a pack shakedown. And I also got rid of my Nalgene water bottle. So my Nalgene it's a water bottle that weighs about 30 grams. It's kind of like indestructible. It's a litre, and it's kind of shaped like this. And it has been an essential part of my adventure kit forever. So I really thought I was going to stick strong and be stubborn, and I love that you can fill it with hot water and have it as a hot water bottle, which was my intention through the Sierras. But then I realized that it's actually a really bulky, difficult shape to try and pack, and it was an easy way to save on weight and just go for one of the smart water bottles. So it didn't last long at all. It was definitely amongst the first things that I got rid of. And also I carried a Camelback bladder with a hose, so that way it lives in your pack, and then you have the hose out and you can drink it whenever. I thought in the desert that was going to be quite beneficial just to make sure I stayed hydrated, but I actually learnt pretty early on. I didn't have any bad experiences, but I just couldn't see how much water I actually had and how much I was going through, and you kind of don't know that you've run out until you've run out. Whereas when you are drinking from a water bottle, you can see exactly how much you have left or how much you have drunk. And it kind of worked the other way sometimes as well, where I wasn't even aware that I'd kind of not drunk any water that day because I'm not getting that visualization of how much I've had through the day. So, and it's pretty heavy, pretty bulky. Again, plastic water bottles are going to be the cheapest way. I will say though, it took me ages and ages to figure out how to be able to best access my water. And I really wasn't drinking enough because it was still a bit too hard to sort of reach behind and get my water bottles out of the side pockets. I ended up swapping packs a few times and ended up landing on the Osprey 50 litre Aura, and that ended up having sort of the side access, and it just took a little bit of practice to sort of stretch it out enough to get that mobility in the pocket and sort of work on my flexibility a bit as well and get back there. For a while I also had the water bottle that sits on your pack sleeve, and I liked it. It was annoying when I was trying to put my pack on and off, but I was definitely drinking more water when I had it attached up there. There's little like elastic kind of attachments that you can put on, but yeah, the majority of my hike I kind of just sucked it up and worked through getting it out of my side pockets by the end of it. Again, my list is really long, so I'm reading through a cup. Watching Dixie's vlogs, seeing her make her coffee in the morning and then have her breakfast nice and hot. I was like, yes, awesome. I'm gonna bring one of those collapsible cups. That was like the first thing I got rid of. Firstly, I don't like cooking. I don't like hot breakfasts or anything like that. I really didn't even have coffee on the trail until the second half of the trip, and even then I was just drinking them cold and telling myself it was an iced coffee. But yeah, I kind of got sucked into the idea of how slow paced the trail could be. And I thought I'd be sipping around, making cups of tea and stuff, but it's not like that at all. My experience is maybe I'm just a little bit slower, but I hike all day, every day. There was, you know, I thought originally I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to find some books to read on my phone, and like, I thought it would just be like trying to fill your time in the afternoons at camp, but no, you're walking like from first thing in the morning through to night. Like it's a long way to walk, and you need to put the effort in to cover the distance. So yeah, ditched the cup straight away. I also had a small mirror packed in my first aid kit, and just in general, I guess I wanted to be able to, you know, see if my skin was doing okay, and you know, be able to check my hair and all of, I guess, the vain but day-to-day things you do in life back home. And it seems like a pretty big thing that I wanted to kind of, I don't know, feel like I was looking my best out there. No, I didn't carry any makeup. But yeah, that did not last long at all. And the times that I felt that I still did wanted to, you know, make sure that everything was still there, the front camera on my phone worked just fine for the level of detail that you want to see yourself in anyway. So yeah, no regrets there. And I'm just having a look. Map and compass. So I was a diehard map and compass user, reader, all of that before I left for the trail. So I was quite surprised at myself when I got rid of it. But I did use Gut Hook Maps on my phone, which is an app which is GPS enabled and tells you all the information you could possibly need to hike. It's a fantastic app. And I also had carried a Garmin InReach, which again is a GPS, but it's also the SOS two-way text helicopter button if you get in trouble. So I felt that I already had two forms of backup for navigation. If my phone died or got wet or whatever, I still had the Garmin as GPS. So I felt comfortable eventually getting rid of map and compass, but that was still a big surprise to me. I never expected that for my hike. I thought I was just going to always carry it just in case anyway. Coming from Australia and didn't have a bounce box and trying to ship around map sections, the decision was kind of made for me. I think it was in Mammoth. The post office actually just got rid of my parcels. They were like, no, we don't hold anything for longer than 2 weeks, which I didn't realise. Who knows where the other half of the trail maps ended up after that. But they weren't at the post office anymore, that's for sure. And then the last few things was items of clothing. So I did carry quite a few. I've already mentioned I got rid of the camp shirt. I also brought a fleece jacket. I really don't like being cold, and I really wasn't sure exactly what to expect. So I had a down jacket, which I kept and used the whole trail. I also carried a light fleece jacket, and I never really used it, and it wasn't till I got into the Sierras and one of the girls I was hiking with was cold, so I said, here, take this spare fleece I've got, and then kind of realized that I didn't want it back and hadn't used it, and yeah, so I gave it to her and she actually used it the whole trail after that, so it was nice to kind of see it around still. In reality, I do prefer fleece over down, but that fleece was a light one. It wouldn't have been warm enough on its own, so I made the choice. And then also hiking zip-off pants. I started with them, really didn't like them. It was, funny enough, the only pants that I actually did chafe in rather than shorts. I just found that it wasn't kind of moisture wicking enough, or I don't know, but they just didn't work for me. I swapped them out for tights and they do work for me. I was really happy with them after that. So yeah, and I tried a few different types of like quick dry zip off pants, thinking that that was going to be more suited to the hike that I was doing. But no, stick with what you know and love. And for me, that is tights, and it always will be, always has been. So I shouldn't be surprised by that outcome, really. And finally, a Gore-Tex rain jacket. I started with like big, heavy, thick Gore-Tex rain jacket, and same with rain pants as well. You know, you walk past people in frog togs. I still don't think that I'd want something that, I don't know, temporary or you know, not durable, but I can't really talk to them because I've never used them either. But yeah, I was really grateful for all of that heavy duty gear in the Sierras, but I did have to carry it all the way through the snow first, through the desert first to have it for the snow, because I didn't really think to ship anything ahead, aside from micro spikes, and then the rest of my snow gear like ice axe and bear canister I bought when I was in Kennedy Meadows. So the things that I already owned, I kind of just carried with me the whole time, which was good because I got some crazy weather and whiteout and storms and all of that in the Sierras. But as soon as I got out of the snow and I flipped, I shipped all of that up to my auntie's place in Canada. So because it was actually worth a fair amount too, it was good heavy duty stuff. But I swapped it out then, and I just didn't have rain pants. I figured I was in tights, really comfortable, and really kind of prefer in wet conditions having something that is skin tight to me, and so I don't chafe. I always found that as soon as my shorts or pants got wet, that's when they'd start to rub on you, because they'd kind of stick to you when you're walking, and it just wasn't comfortable. So wet days just meant tights. But to be honest with you, I actually only had 5 days of rain total on the whole 177 days while I was out there. So it wasn't an overly wet, like it really wasn't a wet year at all for 2018 when I hiked the PCT. And that worked in my favor and meant that swapping out or getting rid of those rain pants. And I also was sponsored by Salomon, so they sent me through a lightweight, probably like a lightly waterproof / windproof jacket, but that did the job on the wet days. It was completely fine. But yeah, I'll check my list. I'm pretty sure that is, that's everything that I could think of that I ditched along the way. My previous video was, or one of my previous videos is what I wore in the PCT, so I go into a lot more detail about that kind of stuff. And then also the rest of my pack list is another video again. So I hope this helps you do a little bit of a pack shakedown and weed out some of those grams and non-essential items from your own packs. It's true what they say, you definitely do pack your fears, but try not to. The biggest reminder is you are always only a few days from town. If you are only sacrificing something you need for a few days, and then you can buy it again. So it's not, going without something is not as drastic as what it actually sounds. When you're out there in practice, you're using minimal stuff anyway. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope this helped. Please, please, please continue. Thank you so much to everyone who has been liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. It really, really supports me. I find it really encouraging. Send me through any videos that you want me to make. Write down in the comments, interact with me, please. And yeah, that's all for now. I'll see you guys around. Bye, bye, bye.